What's up, Blockheads? Standing in front of me here, we've got a Yamaha Bolt, and we are going to do a test ride style video on it. I've gotten a lot of requests to do a test ride video on the Yamaha Bolt because it is one of those bikes that you guys consider a lot and want to know my opinion on, because it's more of like one of those like starter mid-level kind of motorcycles. We ended up getting one to give away, so we're going to go ahead and do a test ride video on it. What I mean by we got one to give away is that we are basically going to take this bike, which is mostly stock right now, we're going to customize it, build it out, and then we're going to give it away. We give it away through Patreon. It's one of the ways that I'm able to give back to the community. So if you guys are interested in getting in on that, go check out the season 1 episode, the reveal. Basically kind of explains it all. If you want to get in on possibly receiving this bike whenever we're all done with it, join Patreon, link in the description below. If you guys are looking for more detailed specs on it, be sure to check out the link below. I'll be sure to link to Yamaha's website talking about all the nitty gritty. In these test ride videos though, it's to kind of give you guys a feeling of what this bike is like, what it feels like to ride it, the ergonomics and responsiveness, braking, you know, stuff like that. You've got ignition right here, so on. Lighting, I don't think this is stock. Pretty sure the guy changed that. That's one of the few things that isn't stock. It does have the reservoir shocks, just so you guys can see the gauge kind of turn on as well. That's what it looks like. As we do, going over controls real quick whenever you're sitting down. So left side, you've got your high beam, low beam, left indicator, right indicator. Press N to turn them off. You've got your horn down below that. On the right side, you have your on-off switch or your kill switch. You've got a selection switch, a reset button, and the starter. So the select button changes the stuff here on the gauge. So if you press select, it changes to trip 1, trip 2, it shows the time, and then it shows the odometer. So I'm just gonna leave it on the odometer. I really kind of wish it had an option for RPMs, that would be nice. And then reset just basically resets that trip 1 or trip 2. Interesting thing, as compared to previous bikes that I've ridden, is it doesn't really have that like fuel priming sound. We are in gear, so let me put it in neutral indicator there as well. So also the rest of the indicators that you have here, you basically have like a little oil light. You've got your turn signals, which both flash whenever you've got a signal on. You've got your gas light, you've got your high beam, low beam, and then you've got a check engine light. High beam indicator comes on there. Also, just a note, gas cap does require a key, so slide the little thing out of the way and you can put the key in and unlock your gas. So ergonomics whenever we're standing, I am 5 foot 10 inches tall and my knees are pretty bent. It does have a very low seat height. The kickstand on this thing, man, it swings like way out, so it's like whenever you go to grab it, see how it like swings way over, but it feels very solid. There's some bike manufacturers out there that like you put the kickstands out, it doesn't feel so solid, but this one feels good. Dropping it down into first, hopefully you guys can hear that click, but the shifting on this bike, it is very, like it's a really good click between the gears. Probably one of the bikes that I've ridden that has like one of the most prominent shift clicks, you know, which is good. So being 5'10", with the mids, I do feel a little bit cramped up. You guys can see like my knees are setting pretty much, you know, here. One thing I will say, just right off the bat about this bike, is that it feels planted. I don't know, there's a couple people that aren't the biggest fan of the Yamaha Bolts, but honestly, like, the throttle feels responsive and the bike, it just feels very planted. I have heard, however, from a few people posting up saying that at higher speeds, it does tend to get a little bit of wobble, but I guess that's from the factory neck bearings. That's an easy replacement. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but one perk of the mid controls is that it does give you a bit more of a I don't know, a sense that you're like in control of the bike versus like forward control, so you're able to get like kind of into these turns a little more. Like, this is my first time riding this bike out here on this road, which, you know, if you guys watch my channel at all, you know is a very familiar road. I ride this road all the time. It's called Binion. It's got some nice turns and some little bit tighter sweepers like coming up ahead, but normally I take these going pretty quick if I know the bike. I do not know this bike yet, so I'm taking it a bit slower. I will say, with the mid controls, it does give you the feeling that you are, you know, more in control. So the bike is a 5-speed, so it being a 5-speed. We're basically topped out right here, but the engine, even though we're going 65, 66 right now, it doesn't really sound like it's under too much stress. If you're comparing this with the Sportster, because the, you know, what displacement on this thing is like 940 cc's or something around there. So in comparison, displacement, transmission, like an 883 or a 1200 Sportster, they're gonna have 5-speed transmissions. An 883 on the road, like 70 miles an hour, it's kind of screaming. This one, it doesn't feel like that. This one, it feels very planted going these speeds, which is good. I mean, it gives you confidence while riding it. On that note of giving you confidence, like I was saying, it does have a really low seat height. So if you guys aren't that tall, it's incredibly short. The seat height, like whenever you're coming to a stop doing those low speed maneuvers, you should have plenty of confidence because your feet are going to be touching the ground. I don't know, I feel like somebody who's shorter could probably get on this thing pretty confidently. I'll have to see if I can get some of my shorter friends to sit on it and see what they think about it. This guy ahead of me needs to speed up and kill these turns for me, bro. I'm gonna slow down. Yeah, man, the shifting on this, like, I don't know if you guys just heard that, like, downshift. Whew. Shifting on it feels great. I know those of you out there that like watch my channel and watch the test rides, and you watch each of the test rides, but that's something that I always mention because I know there's going to be people that are going to search and they're going to watch my channel just for this video, and so I feel like, you know, I have to say it, but, you know, having that prominent click in the shifting, just it feels nice as compared to like a mushy shifter. Oh, lean angle feels good on this thing too. All right, we're at our photo spot. Park here real quick, photo session, take a few pictures, and then we'll hit Binion Road on the way back. All right, photo session over. iPhone photos, man. It always surprises me how good those turn out. Anyways, yeah, lean angle on this thing. I mean, you know, the handling on it, look at this. It feels good. I don't know why people talk junk about this bike. Like, it feels nice. I'm gonna get on it a little bit here. Super easy to find neutral, man. Like, in terms of like sitting on it, ergonomics, you know, I was telling you, like with the mid controls, like, you know, my knees, they do feel pretty high. With the seat, I guess, let me get off and I'll show you guys the seat real quick. But with the solo seat, like, even if this one wasn't here, like, the seat is holding you in pretty good, and the seat's actually pretty soft too, so it doesn't feel too bad. We're definitely going to be, I would say, doing it up to where we'll probably make it like a solo seat, but you know, a couple of you guys have said like club style. You guys let us know, like, post down in the comments below how you guys want us to mod out this bike. What style do you think we should take it? I know a lot of people have said cafe. I know a lot of people have said club style too. Damn, traffic with the F. That's all, dude. Yeah, man. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Got some scrape. That's as far as it leans that way. Don't worry, guys. Just scrape the bottom of the peg. We're good. We'll probably be replacing those anyways. I've never ridden one of these. Like, I rode it whenever I bought it, you know, I put the cash in the guy's hand and I took it up the street and back. But I mean, that's nothing like the ride that I'm doing right now, where I'm actually getting to feel the bike and feel how it is in the turns and how it responds. Like, I don't know, man, it just feels like a solid bike. And from what I've seen in terms of like the aftermarket, you know, options for them, like, people are able to take them in, you know, a couple different directions. Like I said, I've seen a couple of them in club style, I've seen a couple of them in cafe racer style, I've seen a couple bobbers. So yeah, I mean, I guess the aftermarket out there is pretty decent for them. So if you guys are considering getting, you know, a Yamaha Bolt, then yeah, suspension, like, actually feels nice on it. Overall, like, for the price of this bike, I'm really surprised in terms of like, it's like the value, what you get for, you know, what you're spending. The bikes that we're pitting off against one another, you've got the Yamaha Bolt versus the Iron 883 versus the Indian Scout, right? And those are all kind of like bikes that people all look at, you know, whenever they're looking to purchase a motorcycle or upgrade from like their first bike. This bike we spent the least amount of money on because of what their price range is on like Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and Cycle Trader and all that. Like you can find these all day for, I don't know, between like $3,000 and $5,000, like with relatively low mileage. Like this thing only has, you know, 2,158 miles on it. And if you're looking for just like a, I mean, it's a Yamaha. It's got that Yamaha reliability. So we're gonna take it on the highway here in just a moment as well, just to feel it, so we can see what it does like at those speeds. But I mean, if it was going 70 earlier and it felt as planted as it did, I expect good things. We'll see. The handling on it feels good. Like the lean angle is probably more than what I thought it would be, but I did scrape the bottom of the peg. Suspension on it, I mean, it doesn't feel that bad. The suspension on the Indian Scout is way more harsh than on this bike. You know, I mean, but I would hope, obviously, with the reservoir shocks on the back, this being the R spec, that the suspension would be better. But yeah, like, I'm just, overall, I'm impressed with it. Let's get on it here, see what it feels like, see if we can catch up to this Camaro. Yeah, man. Dude, it just feels solid. It's not the fastest bike in the world, but it's, I mean, it's definitely not the slowest. I'm really interested as how this would stack up against the Harley-Davidson Iron 883, but we're gonna find out. Like I was saying, we're building this bike out and we're gonna give it away. So if you guys are interested in getting in on that, check out Patreon at patreon.com/blockheadmoto. We're just starting the season and it runs about 6 months. So you basically pledge per episode. The amount you pledge times the number of episodes equals the amount of your entries at the end of season 5. And then we're giving away this bike. We're giving away a Harley-Davidson Iron as well. And then we're also giving away a Indian Scout. So that's why I'm kind of comparing it to those, like in terms of, you know, the feeling. I've gotten a lot of experience with the Sportsters, that's for sure. One thing I also forgot to note, it's a very like linear power band. Like it's very predictable. The friction zone, very friendly. The word I'm coming back to is solid. It just feels like a very solid bike. It's not so powerful that it's going to get away from you, but it's not like underpowered enough to where like you don't have enough power, you know? Is it going to be the best bike for going like long distances? Like, yeah, you can probably do it with it, but you know, I mean, if you need to, I think it would definitely handle it better than the Sportster. Braking on it feels good. Whenever you are accelerating though, with this like pillion in the back, it does kind of stick into your tailbone, which isn't the most comfortable thing. So let's see how it handles on the interstate or on the highway here, and then that'll be it. If you guys did enjoy the video, if it was insightful for you, be sure to hit the like button. Hitting that like button for me helps the channel quite a bit. So if you guys can do that for me, it'd be much appreciated. Dude, it's responsive, man. And I mean, look at that. We're almost going 80. Let's get it up to 80. We're going 80. And it feels planted, man. It feels good. Honestly, it feels better than a Sportster on the highway. Anyways, we're going to be doing a lot to this bike, guys. I'm really excited to see where we can take it. But yeah, like I was saying, if you have any questions on it, be sure to post up in the comments down below and I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. If you guys enjoyed the video, like I said, hit that like button for me. And then also, if you guys aren't subscribed already, be sure to hit subscribe. Hit that bell icon so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Overall thoughts, man, I'm really impressed. The only criticism, I don't know, that pillion sticking into my back, the lean angle being like kind of good, but yeah, I don't know. It feels so planted right now though. All right, catch you guys on the next one. Peace. It doesn't have much power up here. I just dropped it into 4th. That's it. She ain't moving quick at these speeds.